So I started this YouTube channel back up because I found myself in a situation where I I felt the need to offer my input into what was going on in the world today. We have a situation in which average Americans, mostly white middle class, often Christian people, have found themselves outside of, I'm not sure how to frame this. So many voters found themselves in a situation in which nobody was talking for them anymore until Donald Trump came along. And for the longest time, I've struggled with this because I feel like people should be smarter than this. People should look at what Donald Trump is and realize that while he is not as necessarily as bad as some of us say he is definitely not what the United States deserves in a president. No, I don't want to belabor that point too much right now because my point in making this video today is for other reasons. I started this channel back up this year and this time because I recognize that a lot of people in this country are angry. They're angry because for a number of years now, going back before COVID, it seems like politicians and pundits and people on social media are not talking for them anymore. It seems like special interests, minority groups, marginalized individuals, they seem to get all of the attention. And that's for what one could say is a justifiable reason, right? Like, we live in a culture in which white middle class patriarchal people have an inherent advantage, right? We know that. I do believe that even the average person that falls into that group, me, for example, I think we recognize that privilege. But over the course of the last several years, that idea that people should possibly be ashamed for their privilege has been pounded into people's heads. And I think that's part of what has driven so many Americans to vote for somebody like Donald Trump. And so what happened for me is that I started this channel back up. I've been kind of chasing, interactions, making sure that I get views, making sure I get comments, making sure I get likes on my videos. And what that's caused me to do is like I did in the past, I started like chasing content. That's not why I started this back up again. Now, right now I'm sitting in a hotel room. In case you can't tell, I'm not in my normal video studio. I'm in Fredericksburg. Well, actually, I'm in Stafford, Virginia, just north of Fredericksburg, Virginia. I'm here for the historic half marathon, which is part of the Marine Corps series of races. I'm a prior Marine myself. I've done the Marine Corps Marathon twice before, and I felt the need to sign up for it again this year because we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps. And it was in the Marine Corps where my own personal prejudices and inherent bigotry melted away when I was younger. I was raised in a farming community, predominantly white, high school with only 3 black students. All 3 of whom I've remained friends with over the last 30 years. But I was raised in an environment in which racism was commonplace, misogyny was commonplace, sexism was commonplace, bigotry in all of its forms, religious bigotry. These things were all not condoned, but rather just a blind eye was turned to these things. But it was the Marine Corps that opened my eyes up and made me realize that there's a whole world of different types of people out there. And I served very closely with a number of those people. And it opened my own personal worldview. And that led me in a direction in which my own personal progressive nature kind of had the chance to flourish. So I want to get back, after taking a week off from making videos, I want to get back to why I started this in the first place. Because as a cis, white, middle-aged, affluent male I am representative of a number of people in this country that have been turned off to what once made this country great. Yet I still believe in the American dream. I still believe that we are a nation that is full of amalgamations, that we are supposed to be inviting to all people. I do not believe in illegals. I believe that there are people that come to this country despite incredible hardships in order to try to find a better life. I feel like there are people in this country that live every day of their lives with an inherent risk to their own being, maybe because they're black or they're gay or they're trans, and that those people do not deserve, nor should they have to live in a world in which they are in fear of what might be. I believe that everybody has the right, and I've said this on this channel before, everybody has the right to liberty, so long as that liberty does not infringe on others. So I'm going to take this time out of town on vacation, here to run a half marathon, to reconnect with why I got back to this in the first place. And then the other part of that is to return to my blog, which is thedailyoctane.com. If you want to check that out, I'll link to it below. I want to write more and have these videos become a reflection of the things that I write. If you've got ideas, share them with me. If you have questions about what's going on in the current world today, share them with me. I made an attempt in a video earlier this week, which is what prompted my break, to kind of attack Trump again. And that was a mistake. It brought vitriolic response, hyper-partisan response from MAGA and Trump voters. And those are not the people that I even care to address. There is a certain amount of confirmation bias, cognitive dissonance, and siloing that occurs in that MAGA space. I'm never going to get through to them. I recognize that. So I want to speak to the middle of the road people, progressives who maybe are scared, concerned, or confused about what's going on in the world right now, and try to offer any kind of wisdom that I've gleaned over nearly 50 years on this planet. So I want to apologize if I've come off hyperpartisan or vitriolic myself. I'm going to try to step back and reassess how I'm approaching this. And maybe I'll get back to what I was excited to be doing again instead of trying to chase clicks and interactions again. So once again, my apologies. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you found this by some chance, I'm not even going to tag anything in this. I'm not going to do any kind of hashtags or search key terms or anything like that. Let's see what it finds. And maybe this reboot will work. Again, my name is Christopher Hess. Thanks for watching the Daily Octane, and I'll catch you tomorrow, probably right after I ran a half marathon. We'll see what kind of condition I'm in. Later.